Hey guys, how's it going? It's your boy M.K.S here, back with part four of whatever this is. Basically, my dreams for Inter Milan in terms of getting investment stuff like that. And in parts one, two, and three, I suppose I mainly covered the sort of investors I hope for Inter Milan to get to acquire, and I suppose more selfish ideas as a fan of Italian football. I guess if you like. Whereas in this version, I hope to talk more about less selfish stuff, i.e., what I think Inter Milan could support as a football club, like what they could fundraise for and raise awareness for, and things like that. Which I talked a little bit about those things before, but I hope to specifically cover this in these last 10 ideas. Um, but as I said before, I'd love for the I.M.F, World Economic Forum, Davos, and major international companies, sovereign wealth funds, and even entire nations and whatnot to invest into Inter Milan, even the World Bank, not investors in a place like the IMF put them into debt, or where they have to in the end they have to get penalised by UEFA or FIFA because of financial irregularities or breaking the law or anything like that. I want them to do it legally and preferably morally or ethically or whatever word you want to use. Um, but uh, in in terms of, I hope they will build for long term growth and short and long term growth. So hopefully, within the next few years, with the next 3 or 4 years, maybe let's say the next 5 to 10 years, to win major trophies as often as possible in Europe and internationally, preferably as soon as possible, and continue to do so. Preferably, I would love for Italian teams generally to do that. And as I said before, I'd love for Italian teams to have the best possible managers, coaches, co-owners, investors, sponsors, players, and that sort of thing being brought to Serie A. But yeah, anyway, getting on with the list. So yeah, I'd love for those investors, I say, even the I.M.F for Inter, sovereign wealth funds for Inter, Davos to invest in Inter, major international companies to invest in Inter as much as possible, as well as other Italian teams. But with Inter being international, as I said before, I think it'd be cool if international companies invested into Inter Milan. And yeah, so here goes. So number 31, I would love for Inter Milan, as I said before, like to support immigrants, migrants. It's a bit of a dilemma. I don't really agree with illegal immigration, but people have risked their lives and safety and security to come to European countries such as Italy. And I think it would be good if Inter Milan sort of looked at how to improve relations. So, for instance, integrating the immigrants into Italy through football. I'm going on alliteration again. Inter Milan, migrants and whatnot. Also, or those migrants that end up in Milan, or minority communities, people of colour and that sort of thing, in Milan, people who have come to call Italy their home, and even like second generation or third generation immigrants or whatever, but also the new arrivals, to be welcomed into the football club, and maybe even bringing some from other parts of the country and working with refugee agencies and stuff like that. Again, I don't really want to encourage illegal immigration, but I do think certainly legal immigration, or answer a call, people who are fleeing, have risked their health and safety and lives and whatnot to come to Italy. I think they should be given some support by Inter Milan, like for getting into the academies and looking at how the club can integrate them in, help them feel welcomed, which hopefully will benefit Italy itself in terms of football, at least, if not just generally, and in this case, Inter Milan. Number 32, also again, diversity generally, supporting developing countries and all that, and maybe again improving relations with the black community and Asian communities and whatnot, because and getting investment from sovereign wealth funds, Africa's sovereign wealth, and sovereign wealth funds and Asian sovereign wealth funds and that sort of thing to invest. Hopefully that will improve relations, because Inter fans will think that, if I pronounce it right, I think they're called Interisti, will think that getting on better with people of colour or people from different backgrounds would be better, because obviously they can invest in the team and support teams and things like that. I'm just noticing, I put in a poll, what causes do you think they should that Inter Milan should support, and it's a yes and no answer. That's not how I intend it. I wanted someone to put in, like people to put in that poll, like the list of causes that Inter could support. But anyway, didn't quite work out as I planned. But yeah, if you could put in the comments any causes which you think Inter Milan should support. Number 33, I'd say like physical, mental, and learning disabled people, or health, mental health, and things like awareness. Like they could learn from England about campaigns that are done for people with mental health problems, which England seems to do very well, I think, or Britain. I'm not sure about America or other places, but yeah, raising awareness of mental health through football, and I think it'd be pretty cool for Italian teams such as Inter Milan to do that. Number 34, tackling poverty. Number 35, again, it would be great for people to share ideas and causes which the club could support. Maybe the club on its website, and especially on its YouTube channel, and other social media forms, could talk about different causes that you would like them to support. I can't remember if I think that was number 35. But yeah, so people to talk about different causes which the club could support, and ask the club, and maybe the club could be like approachable, so people could say what causes they think the club should support. Number 36, supporting women and girls in developing countries, I think would be really cool. Number 37, anything to tackle poverty, also animal rights, child rights, child protection, and things like that. I think it'd be good if the club learnt to ensure like child safety and things like that, as much as possible, and learn lessons from other clubs and things like that. 37, again, working on that note, working with charities that support children and vulnerable people and disabled people and disadvantaged people generally, as well as animals, as I say. That was number 37. Number 38, again, just things that will make the world a better place. Again, tackling poverty, tackling isolation, tackling challenges people face. Maybe it could be a club that, again, works with charities, like works with, I'd say, mental health charities, charities that support people at risk of suicide or things like that. They can approach the club, or yeah, the club could have like its own helpline, and again, work with as many charities as possible. Obviously, time constraints permitted. Yeah, so working, I know that there's never enough hours in the day to do all the things you want to do, I'm sure. In anyone's case, I'm pretty sure, but or maybe some people can manage their time that well, but I'm sure most people wish they could do more with the time, or we don't never have enough time perhaps. But anyway, I'd love to hear what you think about that as well, or any points I make. Number 39, I'm sort of running out of causes, but yeah, there could be things like looking after the oceans, looking after the environment, looking after animals, children, women's empowerment, educating girls in developing, or educating young people in developing countries as well, generally, and that sort of thing. Possibly helping my fellow Anglo-Indians in India, for instance, who are struggling, or any groups that are struggling around the world. And number 40, again, I'd love to, I think I can't, I often think, I wonder if I missed any points or miscounted, but yeah, I'd love to hear what you think Inter Milan should support. And again, as ever, I'd love to read your comments, but yeah, I think it'd be cool if Inter Milan support made the world a better place and had a mutual benefit. Obviously, this would be good for the club's PR, and if it got this investment, as I often say, with great power comes great responsibility. So if it did acquire all this investment, I think it should be put to good use as well as winning. From the club's point of view, a more selfish point of view, as a fan of Italian football, and I'm sure Inter fans specifically would want to see the club win so many trophies. I'm sure Inter Milan fans would want to win domestic trophies, but for me, most importantly, as fan of Italian football teams generally, I think it's really important for Italian teams to win in Europe and internationally. But again, I think it'd be great if they did good. Anyway, I'm going to stop waffling. And again, I'd love to read your comments, any causes you think the club could support or should support, and how it could go about doing so in the best possible ways. What charities do you think are worthy of support? Because I think I'm a bit wary about charities. I don't think they always do as good. And I think the most important thing is getting the end result. But yeah, working with charities that work that match the club's ethos, or whatever you call it. And I am out. Peace and love.